So, a dozen years ago, I was studying photography in Nashville, Tennessee. I got to take a trip to Hawaii, my first time to go there, and I captured this photograph. Now, this may not compare with an Ansel Adams photograph or a photograph by Edward Weston, but it's probably the best photo I ever shot, and I really love it. I love it because I love the rock formations jutting out into the ocean, and I love it because the young man who's jumping is splayed out like he's flying across rocks and oceans. Uh, but I think what I love most about this photograph is what it has to say about God. You see, I got to study philosophy with a Swede in Texas, believe it or not, named Yandel Woodfin. Now, Dr. Woodfin, his specialty was aesthetics. Aesthetics is the branch of philosophy that deals with questions like what is art and what is beauty and who gets to decide what is beautiful. I had always heard that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, but Dr. Woodfin challenged that idea. He said beauty is not in the eyes of the beholder. Rather, what is most beautiful is what most perfectly reflects the beauty of the Creator. And he described what was best in art as not just seeing a beautiful picture that represents nature well, but being able to capture what's behind that, the image of the deity that has made the beautiful waterfall. So I love this photograph. Uh, Maybe you're like me and you believe that God is still active in creation. And if that's true, perhaps he's using seismic shifts and lava flows to do things like build islands in the middle of the Pacific that are beautiful. If that's the case, then these rock formations are not merely natural formations, but rather are actually formed by the fingers of God. And this young man who's jumping is at the peak of his athleticism. That in a sense, the fact that he's able to jump and not end up with his head bashed in on the rocks like I would, may be because his body is a good representation of what God intended when he created humanity. But what I like best about this photograph is that I believe that it speaks to the reaction of humanity as we reach out to the divine, as we reach out to God. Someone once said that faith is the leap at the end of reason. You may be a lot smarter than me, but what happens when you get to the end of your understanding, when you're not sure anymore about what life is or what is important in life? I think that's the time when we leap into the arms of the waiting God.